Hello dear students, welcome to the online education of class 7 science. So dear students, I have started the lesson winds, storms and cyclones. So in the previous class, I was discussing about the various features or characteristics of air. Okay, so in that I discussed with some activities, 3 activities 8.1, 2, 3. So therein I discussed about high speed winds are always accompanied by reduced air pressure. That I demonstrated in the online class with some activities such as blowing up the air with of air strip, paper strip by blowing the air into the mouth of the bottle. So then we discussed about the balloons tied to a stick and we are blowing in between, and that makes the balloon to reduce the air pressure, brings the balloons together nearby each other. So that activity we have studied. So in today's class, let us go for the next concept, that is air exerts pressure. Yes, of course, dear students, air always exerts pressure on the objects. So before I continue with the concept, so we need to understand this concept with some activity. Okay, so before I start the activity, let me give some information about how air exerts pressure. So already, dear students, we know that. Okay, so moving air is called wind. So if the air is in constant position, we cannot say it is a wind. So always moving air is called a wind. So wind is going to blow, not the air, right? So air is a combination of many gases, as you know in the previous classes you studied. So nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, okay, helium, neon, argon. There are many kinds of gases. They are present in the some are in more quantity, some are in less quantity. So these all combination of gases together we call it as a air. So moving air is called wind. Okay, so let's come to the content here. So moving air is also called wind. Okay, so the high speed winds, okay, high speeds always bring rain and they may cause some destructive things. Okay, so dear students, nowadays you have been watching in the TVs. Okay, so now the monsoon session has begun. So already it is in the process. You will see in many different parts of the country as well as in other parts of the world. Okay, so high speed winds, cyclones. So that a concept it is there already, that wind storms and cyclones. That I would explain in the next class. It is there, cyclones, how it is going to be caused. So winds are the main reasons for the cyclones. Okay, so these winds bring the rain. So nowadays we are receiving the high wind, quantity of wind that is going to bring the rain for different parts of our country. So you can see now, not only in Karnataka, okay, Bihar, Assam, okay, so Uttarakhand, so many states of our country nowadays we are receiving high winds, they are receiving the high rain. Okay, so this cause a destructiveness. Okay, so we can say that it is a destructive. Okay, high winds, first thing they are going to help us by bringing the rain, but if it brings more rain, it leads to flood. Not only the flood, it also can be destructive. See, most of our lives have been destructed, okay, due to the heavy flood. So the life becomes destructive. The communication, telephone cables, electricity, okay, so even whatever the crops are grown, so that is under the immersed in the water. Okay, we lost our lives, means we lost our homes. Okay, so this kind of destructive nature these high speed winds bring us. So hence we can say that they are destructive. So now, so air. So what is the main feature of the air? So air moves from the region where the air pressure is high to the region where the pressure is low. See, this is very, very important. So how does the air move? So air always keeps moving. So how does it move? So air always moves from the region where the pressure is high. So air always moves from the region where the pressure is high to the region where the pressure is low. Okay, it is same as the water. So water always flows, right? Tell me now. So water always flows from the region, from higher region to the lower region. This is the natural tendency. In the same manner, so air also moves from the region where high pressure to the region where low pressure is there. But see the observation here. The greater is the difference in the pressure between the two regions, faster the air moves. If the difference between the pressure of any two regions, higher region and lower region, if the pressure between them, between these two is more difference it is there, then what happens? The more fast the air moves. To make us understand this one, so there is an activity here, activity 8.5. So let us go for this activity. So in this activity, what we need to do is we need to take up 2 beakers. Okay, so for that we take one boiling tube. Okay, so boiling tubes which are available in the science lab. Okay, so 2 beakers we have to take and one boiling tube we have to take. So tie that or stretch that boiling tube, on that boiling tube to the neck of the boiling tube. In the open of the mouth of the boiling tube, we have to stretch a balloon. Okay, so we have to cover the mouth of the boiling tube with a balloon. Okay, and we have to put a tape on it to the mouth of the boiling tube of the boiling tube. Okay, so you can even use the tape to make it very tight so that nothing can be escaped through the boiling tube. Because the balloon has completely covered its mouth. Okay, so after tying it tightly to the mouth of the boiling tube, now what you need to do, you have to take some amount of hot water. See, look at the first one. So this is the balloon tied over the neck of the boiling tube. So over the neck of the boiling tube, neck means its mouth. Okay, entrance. So it is tied with the balloon. Tightly it is tied. Balloon is tied over the neck of the boiling tube. So now what you need to take? So in one beaker, you have to take some amount of hot water. Okay. So some amount of hot water should be there in the. Yes, some amount of hot water you have to take in the beaker. Okay. Now what you need to do? You have to immerse this boiling tube with the balloon into the beaker. Okay. So you have to wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so observe, is there any change in the shape of the balloon after immersing the boiling tube with the balloon into the beaker containing hot water? Okay, so after 2 to 3 minutes, you have to remove the boiling tube with the balloon out of the beaker. Now let it cool. Now leave the boiling tube with the balloon to cool. Let it cool down and adjust to the normal temperature. Let it come to the room temperature. So after a few minutes, after 10 minutes, so again take one more beaker. Take one more beaker. So that should be filled with some cold water. See, now you have to take another beaker with the cold water. So cold water you have to put inside it. So now same boiling tube with the balloon tied over its neck. Immerse it into the beaker. So wait for 2 to 3 minutes. So after 2 to 3 minutes, okay, observe the shape of the boiling tube with the balloon. Okay, see, balloon. Okay, no change in the tube. Balloon you have to observe. See, boiling tube immersed in cold water. This third picture you can see here. Yes. So after observing these 2 things, okay, so what do you infer? What conclusion will you come to? Okay, see here. In the first activity, so we have immersed the boiling tube with the balloon into the beaker containing hot water. So what happens there? Immediately after 2 to 3 minutes, there is a inflation took place in the balloon. Means the balloon becomes bigger in size. Why it is so? Because it is inflated. Why? Because the temperature, the hot water, it is going to enter into the, okay, it is going to supply the what? Some kind of heat. So that heat is going to be filled up into the balloon. So that's why balloon inflated. The air is filled up inside it. Okay. That's why it becomes bigger in size. The air is filled up in that. It is inflated. Okay. Because of the hot water. Whereas, look at the second one. It is containing cold water. So hence, when the cold water beaker it is immersed, so the balloon is not going to inflate it. It is not going to increase in size. It is going to decrease in size. Okay, so it is going to be deflated. So its size is going to be decreased. It will come down than the normal. So by this we can infer that. So always air moves from the region high temperature to low temperature. From the region high pressure to the region where there is a low pressure. Here, so increased temperature leads to what? Inflation in the balloon. Okay, so decreased temperature, low temperature leads to deflation in the balloon. Okay, so dear students, I hope you have understood this concept. So try to write down the points of this concept and try to draw this activity and try to write your observation. What conclusion you came to know? Yes. Okay, so I hope you have understood this concept. So let me come up with the next concept in the tomorrow's class. Thank you and have a nice day.